Now, join me on the line is a man who's making his return to the ring after a 6 year absence. The former world heavyweight title challenger, Fast Eddie Chambers, who gets back in the ring on Tuesday night, February 7th in Nashville, Tennessee. Eddie driving. Eddie, what's happening?
Oh man, not too much, as you can tell. No, but yeah, I'm kind of in between things, trying to figure it out, trying to see what happens. Giving myself an opportunity to get back in there. I've seen a lot of, not a lot, but I've seen a few guys who are up in age try to get in, try to do some things. Seeing some guys with some success, some guys with who are not. I've been, taking care of myself the best way I possibly could. I still feel the same, you know, besides some extra soreness when I come back from the gym. You know what I mean? It's a little different than what I'm used to when I was, obviously when I was younger doing it. But other than that, I feel good. I feel like ready to do this, ready to go back at it again, see how I fare, see how far I can get, in these next
Well,
few fights. I'm not looking past the one I have on
has this
Tuesday, but you know,
has this been something that you've been thinking about doing for? I know you've been out of the ring for about 6 years now. When did you realize that this is a possibility for you to restart your career?
honestly, it was never off the table. It was just more of a like, I would be sparring here, working with guys, and I'm talking about like, I'm not talking about just sparring anybody. I would spar guys that were in like the top 10, like top five guys there, not I want to say top five, but top 10 guys, and I was still doing well with them. And we're talking about no real training. Like obviously, I was working out all the time and playing ball, but I wasn't doing a lot of boxing. So I was still feeling good. I still moved well, was moving well and everything. So I mean, we always toyed with the idea, me and my guy Ant, we've been you know knowing each other since about 2013. He's a real, he's one of the top trainers now. He used to be a great pad guy. Now he turned into a really, really top level trainer. And we had talked about it many times. He's like, "Yo, man, if you're gonna do it, you need to do it now and stop waiting. Shit or get off the pot type of thing. Excuse my language." But I was sitting there like, I'm not sure. Kind of hesitant because of the business aspect of boxing isn't the most inviting when you're going into it. So, I have a lot of bad memories from that. But the sports side of it, not having that sour taste in my mouth from losing my last fight, gave me kind of the motivation to want to come back and do it, at least for to see what I feel like and what I would be like at this new age that I am, 40 years old, and see if I can do something with it again. To be honest, I mean, I'm not sure, and like I said, it took a while for me to decide to, and I know why. I know most people go like, why the hell would you wait from 34 to 40 to decide to now make the comeback? And honestly, if I could answer that, I would. But I really don't know why it took so long. I think it was just trying to find a situation and something that I could work with. A lot of times when I was just like kind of out of it a little bit, like the first year, people were saying, "Oh man, you want to?" They wanted to bring me back fighting guys who were, top level guys, or at least top 20, top 25 guys. Just jump right back in there with them, after a year or two off. And I'm sitting there like, no, I want to take my time with it a little bit. I want to maybe get a couple easy fights, a couple fights that I can handle. I mean, of course, I can handle hard fights, but I wanted to get a couple fights that was, work me back into the fold. Most people weren't trying to give me that, so that was part of what made me wait a little longer. I didn't want to just jump right back in.
The heavyweight division's changed a little bit since we last saw you. Deontay Wilder was the heavyweight champion of the world, I believe, when you were last fought. And we'll talk about the fight with Gerald Washington in a minute. Now it's Tyson Fury, another big guy in there. He's going to probably fight Usyk, some other guys, guys like Herjavec and some other guys who are waiting their turn to fight for the heavyweight championship of the world. I mean, I remember the Eddie Chambers, 28, 29, 30. he definitely would be able to compete with these guys. I mean, do you feel still at the age of 40 that that guys like some of these guys we mentioned who are maybe waiting their opportunity, Dillian White, who just fought for a title, Chisora got a title shot. You feel that Eddie in the middle could compete with those guys right now at age 40?
Honestly, I don't feel any different really. I'm gonna be honest. When I go in the gym and I hit the bags, and don't get me wrong, there's certain things conditioning wise and fight shape wise that obviously I got to correct, but I don't really feel any different. Now, once I get in with real competition, and I actually had an opportunity to spar with a real up and coming lighter weight guy who made me realize that it's like time to get serious before I decide to want to jump, in there with somebody with a name or anything like that. But yeah, I honestly really feel that the skill level's still there. Obviously, that's not going anywhere. It's just a matter of getting sharp, getting my legs back under me. Honestly, they never left. I'm always in the gym. Like, a lot of if you know me, I love basketball, so I'm playing basketball constantly. Always working out. And I'm also training people, so I'm always in the gym, hitting the bag, working out with the people that I train. So even though in those years coming up to this point now, I think I haven't done anything I have. I've been still working. My weight is still not too far off of what I fought at. You know what I mean? So, I'm still where I need to be as far as if I wanted to make a comeback and actually compete with some of the name guys in the division. I think what I have skill wise and there's still speed, there's still athleticism and stuff like that is there. I think I could still be a formidable foe in the heavyweight division. But I'm gonna have to see in this first one or two fights just how I feel before, because I'm not one of those guys who's delusional by any means. I'm gonna make sure if I don't feel it, I'm not doing it.
Obviously, there a couple of the fights. Obviously you lost to Klitschko, no shame in that. I think two fights that stand out in terms of towards the end of your career, you tried to move down to cruiserweight, fought the Bizio Mchunu, and you just weren't there that night. I mean, you weren't there that night. And to a similar degree, the Gerald Washington fights. What happened in those two fights? I mean, it just seemed like I don't know if you lost the desire or whatever for the in those two fights. But like I said, I've seen most of your career, if not probably from your 10th fight on. I've seen pretty much every one of your fights. You weren't there either of those nights. So what went on?
So many things outside of the ring for the Bizio Mchunu fight. There was so many things going on outside the ring, and the thing is, the interview after the fight, the worst thing in my opinion that a fighter can do is tell, even if those things are true, even if he's had difficulty in the camps and difficulty in general, just with training or outside stuff. The worst thing you can do is mention it in the post-fight interview, or even the press conference, anything. Just take the L and deal with it. But and it's been some years now for those particular fights. Right, the one with the Bizio Mchunu it was
see
just
if you
so
can lower
much.
the camera a little bit. We see your area. Okay.
Sorry about that. I had it up. I have lifted it up. My bad. Yeah, it was just so much going on. There was financial issues. There was, trying to get to training issues. It was just not what you would think. And to be quite honest, it was really just being a bit too overconfident in where I was, knowing that, I'm fighting guys my size finally. So that doesn't say that I wasn't training. I was training. I was doing the best I could with what I had, and I was still in the gym as much as I could possibly be, but I just wasn't in the gym that was necessary for me. I wasn't in Schuler's at the time, because that's where I was my own gym at the time.
And real quickly, because we only have a couple minutes left, the Gerald Washington fight,
Okay.
it almost seemed like you had a foot outside the door, ready to kind of pack it in that night. Was it basically as simple as that?
Honestly, it was just, like I said, once again, if you couple those last two that you can remember seeing me in with the Juno and the Washington fight, it was mental. It was all mental. It was a lot of stuff that was, like I said, I couldn't control. That I wanted to be able to control, but it just didn't work out for me in that way. So I had to deal with it. I said, I had to deal with it, and I said, you know what? And then after the Gerald Washington fight, it gave me the ammo to say, you know what? I'm done with this shit, and just to hell with it, and step to the side. And now I regret it, but at the same time, I'm trying to do what I can to get back in there and right that wrong, and at least see if I can still compete at this age. We'll see. I mean, right now we're in the beginning stages.
And you'll know after two. I mean, after these two fights, if you feel that you know what, okay, let me continue this. You feel after the second fight, obviously your record, your name, your accomplishments will probably put you in a situation. You'll probably be brought on a B side or something like that. But it'll get you that opportunity to prove that you can still compete with some of these guys. Is that what it is? Maybe just two fights because at age 40, I mean, not really too much time to wait.
Right. You're 100% right, Mark. And the idea in my mind was, let's test the waters. Let's see what we got. These first two. Obviously, they're not going to be the toughest guys, but at least they'll give me some. Get somebody in front of me under the lights, see how I feel, get past the nerves. You know what I mean? Even though most people are like, man, you got almost 50 fights, you still get nervous. You get damn right. Absolutely. But yeah, it'll give me an opportunity to see what happens and whether or not I should pursue it at a high level.
Well, Eddie, thank you. What do you want to say to the fans in closing before we see you Tuesday night, February 7th, live on Fight.tv, live from Nashville, the Country Box, the Tuesday night fight series kicking off their first show. And they have a former world title challenger on the card, Fast Eddie Chambers. What do you want to tell the fans out there?
Oh, man, I'm just, it's been a long time coming. I know it's better late than never, for my supporters. But I'm going to do my best to do you guys proud and show that you should have been supporting me, hopefully. And, just try to be as successful going forward. And maybe if, down the line, there may be some kind of title available. That would be nice. You know what I mean? Somebody that's old with a title. Wouldn't that be cool?
There you go.
But now we'll see.
There you go. Fast Eddie Chambers, thank you for a few minutes of time. I look forward to getting down to Nashville, seeing you in action, and, seeing where this journey takes you, Eddie. But do me a favor, before we get to Nashville, drive safely.
Oh, absolutely. I appreciate it. I definitely will.
We'll talk to you soon.
My man. Talk